Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad that you came back to check me out in another episode. Thank you for tuning in. So, I decided to come out here today to beautiful Lums Pond. I'm not sure if this is still part of Newark or I think this is more like Delaware City. Take a look. Yeah, take a look. Take a look. I'm out here today. Yep. This is where I'm at. Just parlaying. And I just wanted to get out here today. I haven't been out here in such a long time making a video. I think the last time I was out here was when I had the Canon EOS T7 Rebel camera. I sold that camera recently. I wasn't feeling that camera. I had to keep tuning the lens to zoom and focus in, and I didn't, really have, camera skills, and it was just a pain in the neck. I was out here trying to make a clear-cut video on a teaser trailer for the graffiti side hustles video, and my face was a little more bloated at the time, and the video didn't come out good. So I think that was maybe about I'm gonna assume maybe close to or a little over 2 years now, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but today I'm out here with the GoPro Hero 9, and one of the things that I keep hearing noises. Give me a second. One of the things that I like about this Hero 9, in which I think all Hero 9 cameras may possibly have a little firmware issue. Sometimes you hear a little clicking in the videos, but hopefully I nipped that in the bud. Hopefully. If not, I'll have to look around for a fix. But one of the things that I like about this Hero 9 is that I don't have to worry about, zooming in on a lens and making it clear. Is it blurry? Did I do it right? This thing works charms, and now that I got this, you don't have to see me sitting here and going pressing a button. And, this gives me a peace of mind knowing I can record, stop, flip it to photo, all that other good stuff. But today I want to really get into discussing two things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is not just a food-based, oh, that's a squirrel, not just a food-based side hustle, but I'm going to talk about starting a restaurant review-based side hustle. And then after that, I'm going to go in and I'm going to share my opinion on a YouTube channel that I recently noticed. Excuse me. A YouTube channel that I really recently noticed that is making money hand over fist, and I'm not hating at all, but the YouTube channel is really promoting gluttony, and yes, it is a food-based YouTube channel. So let me just go ahead and get started on the restaurant review side hustle. One thing a lot of good working class people and just everyday people in general don't think about is when you go to a restaurant, you go there to eat good food, right? I mean, you're going to a really good restaurant, or you're taking someone out to either impress them and hopefully courting for marriage, because dating is played when you get older. That dating stuff gets played. I hope you taking somebody out to court them for marriage, male and female, not male and male, female and female, because I'm against that. But when you take someone out to a restaurant, you take them to a nice restaurant in hopes of impressing them with a nice dining experience. You hope to take them to a memorable place that they will think good things about for years to come. And overall, you want to leave a positive impression on the person that you're taking out to the restaurant, right? But one thing you most likely, 98%, didn't think about is profiting, earning passive income online by profiting from your restaurant experience. So, let me go into this. Let me just give you a quick scenario. You're a man in church. You're saved. I'm just throwing a parable out there. You're in church. You're saved. You're interested in a sister. And you want to take the sister out to a nice restaurant because you may possibly have marriage in mind, right? So you want to take her, I don't know, it could be Red Lobster is good. Let's go shoot for like Cheesecake Factory. Oh man, because I love the cheesecake and just smash it up real good. Anyways, so you have a mind to take the sister to Cheesecake Factory. Really nice place, the dining in, and the entrees are just absolutely off the chain. Forget about it. So you get with the sister and you go and pick her up. Now you remember this. You men, you better open the door for her. You better do. You better do it. Cause if you make her open her own door, and then she gotta close her own door and then strap her own seatbelt in, you ain't worth on a stick. Anyways, so you pick this. So you pick the sister up. You take her to Cheesecake Factory, but before you take her to Cheesecake Factory, you're hoping to leave a good impression on her. So this is how you get your restaurant review based side hustle going. Number one, get in the mindset of starting to use your camera phone, or be like me and own a GoPro camera, because the beauty of these GoPro cameras is they're very compact. I mean, a GoPro camera, if I just go like this, let me see, GoPro camera is about the size, engulfs the size of the palm of my hand, and you can get yourself a short stick. A GoPro camera can easily fit into your pants pocket. It is a great investment. It's maybe between, I don't know, $300, $349, but it's a really great investment. 4K video quality. I mean, it's an investment that you will appreciate for years to come. Get yourself a GoPro camera, or if you have an Apple iPhone, Apple iPhones automatically come with 4K. Take your camera or get used to using your Apple iPhone. So when you take the sister to Cheesecake Factory, you make sure, and I'm not playing with you, man. I'm not playing with you. You better treat that sister right if you follow my directions. Take the sister out. You pull out her chair. I'm not joking. Be a gentleman. Because you know what? A sister might not even say nothing. She's observing you. So take notes, men. Take the sister out to the restaurant. You pull a chair out for her. You seat her. Push her in, right? Before y'all start eating, give the sister a heads up and let her know what you're getting ready to do. Just be smooth about it. Let her know that, you know, I thought of this creative idea and I'm going to do a restaurant review based on our positive dining experience. So you pull out your Apple iPhone, and you can take your Apple iPhone. Let me see. Take your phone, and then you ask, you know, the waiter or waitress will come up to you and say, hello, how you doing? My name is such and such. Here's the menus if they're not already at the table. Excuse me. All you have to do is whip out your phone or your GoPro camera and start videoing. Make sure you got no messages on here. Okay. Start videoing the menu. Okay. So you want to turn on the video feature on your phone, right? and you want to start making a video of the menu. The reason that you're making a video of the menu is because, being that you plan on posting to the internet about your positive dining experience, you want to make a video to upload to YouTube. Okay, YouTube is not just a place to watch videos, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube is a business. It is a business. The business of YouTube can make you a millionaire. Now, if I'm smiling, I'm lying. All right. So after you take your camera phone and you start making your video of the menu, then you might want to switch over to the photo feature. You take the photo, switch over to your photo, take if needed, just do it like this so that you can get the whole shot of the menu. Now, being that you're dining at Cheesecake Factory, it's a good idea to take more than one photo on your phone of the menu, because I know as a guaranteed fact that Cheesecake Factory does not offer take-home menus. That's just, they're not in the business of that. So take as many pictures with your camera phone or GoPro camera of the menu as possible, so therefore when you get home you can edit it to see which photo would be best for posting to the internet about your positive restaurant review. So once you start taking your photos and making a video of the menu, then you and the sister can decide on what you're going to order, right? Let her take her time. In the meantime, try not to talk her head off too much. Be smooth. Judge the conversation. Don't be so talkative, because this is probably your first time taking her out, and being that you're courting her for marriage, don't be too jokey-fied. Like I said, don't be over talkative, but yet don't be too passive. Just gauge it. Just be right. All right. So once y'all have decided on what you're going to eat, of course, offer the sister an appetizer. So while you're offering her an appetizer and y'all sitting there having, a little bit of lukewarm conversation, maybe you're talking about church or maybe you're talking about scriptures, just let her know that, hey, I was watching this guy on YouTube and he gave me this really cool free idea about starting a restaurant review based side hustle, and I decided to take his advice and try it out. She might be like, that's interesting. So, she might ask you a few more questions. Just let her know that, I'm gonna do a restaurant. I'm gonna do a review based on our dining experience here at Cheesecake Factory, and that I plan on doing this as a side hustle for generating a secondary stream of passive income using the internet. She's going to be intrigued. She's going to be like, wow, I never even thought of that. That's a good move, brother. So as the food comes, right? Food gets to the table. First taste. Remember how it tastes when you had that first, when you dip. Now let me backtrack myself. Before you start eating, say your grace. Thank the Lord for your food. And after you thank the Lord for your food, then you dive in and you smash it up real good. But really, before you start getting in and smash it up real good, Elder King style, get your first taste. Your first taste is your first impression. You remember how your first taste was of that entree that you ordered? You're going to write that in a blog. Blogging is by far the simplest way to make money online. Starting a restaurant review based blog with your own paid web hosting service, you can visit the link in the video description for more details. Blogging allows you to have a standalone voice on the internet, and starting a restaurant review based blog is the simplest way to make money online and become less independent on your job. if you're a restaurant hopper like me, and you know, you restaurant hop, maybe you might go to the buffet. You might smash it up real good. Then you might dip over to that place over there, or you might go to Cheesecake Factory. Then what you need to do is, with your restaurant review based blog, you need to create and set up your categories. So one category could be cheesecake reviews. I mean, I said cheesecake, I'm thinking about Junior's in New York. Oh my goodness. I have not had Junior's cheesecake in Brooklyn for years. Oh, I miss cheesecake so much. Anyways, let me get back to the topic. One of your blog categories can be about Cheesecake Factory reviews. Your next category will be, I don't know, let's say Red Lobster reviews. Then your next category can be Olive Garden reviews. Then the following category can be, what's the other one? Red Robin reviews. Then your next category, let's say, I know one of my favorite Italian restaurants in Flatbush, Brooklyn growing up. They're not around anymore. They were on Albany and Avenue J in Flatbush, Brooklyn. They were called Rocco's Pizzeria. Rocco's. So if you like to go to Rocco's, you can create another category and say Rocco's Flatbush, Brooklyn Pizzeria reviews or something like that. And for each category, you could write your personal review about your restaurant dining experience. So in other words, I'm not going to write a review about Rocco's Pizzeria and then post it to Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory is just going to be Cheesecake Factory restaurant reviews. So going forward, so you're enjoying the meal, she's enjoying her meal. Ask her how her meal tastes to her. But while she's eating and smashing it up real good, don't be so talkative. Let the sister enjoy her meal. But if she wants to talk a little bit, you have to gauge it, and also you have to control the situation, because she might get a little talkative. And then you kind of like, you know, you gauge your way as a mature man how to control the situation, and without saying anything, you let her know. It's called silent talking. Cut down on the talking and enjoy your food, because she might be testing you to see how much of a man you are. You just never know. Anyways, so you're asking her how her dining experience was, right? I mean, I said how her dining experience, how her entree is, how her meal is. How does her meal taste? Does it really taste good? Is it missing a little seasoning? Does it need a little bit more salt? Is she okay? Does she need something else to drink? Maybe some juice, soda, something. All right. So while you're recording in your mind how your meal is, occasionally ask her how her meal is. And with her permission, you can take the camera and just do a quick switcheroo. You know? Or you can take the camera and then focus on her food instead of putting it on her face. I really wouldn't recommend putting it on her face. But put the camera on her food, or they are Apple iPhone or a cell phone camera, whatever it is. Why all these planes gotta be flying around me? I'm making too much noise, man. I'm up here trying to do a quiet YouTube video, man. Came all the way out here to Lums Pond for peace and quiet, man. I didn't come out here to hear planes and helicopters and all that good stuff. Anyways, so you're kind of like summarizing in your mind of your cheesecake dining experience, right? As you're going along, you enjoy your food. What did you enjoy most about the food, besides that they put a lot of, I don't know, if you ordered something with shrimps, did they put a lot of shrimps in there? Was the shrimps meaty? Was the cheese really stringy? I mean, was the cheese really melted? Was it stringy? Was the sauce really good? Write in descriptive detail in your blog post about your restaurant review. You know, let's say, for example, let's say if you had shrimp linguine, right, with extra cheese, and shrimp linguine with extra cheese, and let's say it was in Alfredo sauce, right? And they brought it to the table. The shrimps was extra large or jumbo, whatever you want to call it, or tiger-sized shrimp. Shrimps was good. They were deveined. They were peeled. The tails were off, and it was all shrimp, no shell. I smashed it up. Oh man, you're gonna write in descriptive detail in the body of your blog post. Man, this shrimp linguine Alfredo was so good. They gave me about between 10 to 12 meaty tiger-sized shrimps. Man, I only paid about $17 for this meal. Man, I got like almost a dozen shrimp, tiger-sized, dog. Man, hey, dog, I got... Man, you're not going to say dog, but I'm just talking in old boys terms. Man, I got all this nice, tasty linguine, and I got this Alfredo sauce, and man, if this sister wasn't here, man, if it was just me, and be in descriptive detail, man, if she wasn't here and it was just me, man, I wouldn't care what people think. Man, I'd take my finger in there and put my food, I'd put my fingers in that bowl, and man, I'd be licking my fingers in front of people. I'd smash it up real good. Write all of those feelings in the body of your blog post, because in the body of your writing, you're going to create emotion in your blog readers. You're going to create feelings. They start to form opinions of you when you write. Either they're going to think you're crazy, which is good. In blog writing is good. If somebody thinks, oh, you off the chain, that's a good thing. In real life, but if you really get into the meat and potatoes of your Cheesecake Factory dining experience and really pour your heart out, the more you pour your heart out in the body of a blog post, guess what? Your blog goes from this, the content of your blog, because you got to get all the feelings out. You got to get it out word for word, verbatim. Then it keeps going and growing and growing and growing and growing. And guess what? Because the body of your blog post based on your Cheesecake Factory restaurant dining experience is quite long, search engines are going to love you. The longer the blog post, ladies and gentlemen, the longer the blog post, the better your rankings in unpaid organic search engine results pages. People are attracted online to all kinds of food, and it doesn't matter if you can't cook. If you make homemade food and put these videos unedited on YouTube, people will sit for hours looking at you cook food, marinate some, clean some chitlins in a sink. Okay, I ain't never eaten no chitlins in my life. My mother eats that crap from down South Virginia, but not here. But anyways, your Cheesecake Factory dining review can be a very profitable side hustle, because in one blog post you can talk about your dining experience, how your meal tasted. Then in a separate blog post, a completely different blog post, which you're going to create what we call long form content, now you're going to write a Cheesecake Factory review. The man are going to write a Cheesecake Factory restaurant review, based on her dining experience. So what you're going to do is, after you've taken photos and videos of her food and the menu, you're going to include in the header of the blog, the header meaning the top section of the blog, the very top of the blog, before you fill it up with content, you're going to put at the very top of the blog post an image of her plate. And within the body of the blog post, you can include an image or a video of the Cheesecake Factory menu. So after you indent in the header description of the secondary blog post based on her dining experience, like I said again, you put the image of her plate, her meal at the very top of the blog. And after your meal is over, after you two finish eating, everything is good, you're ready to pay and go, whatever the case is, you could casually ask her right then and there, how was your food? If you don't mind me asking, can you just tell me real quick just ask her if she can give you a quick summary based on her dining experience. And this is where the beauty of speech recognition comes in. Let me show y'all something real quick. On everyone's phone, you should have okay, I got a couple of them there. Okay, at the very top up here, ladies and gentlemen, the very top up here, this is a tab that opens up Google Docs. Google Docs, if you have a Gmail account, then you have immediate access to Google Docs. See, Google Docs right then and there. Google Docs allows you to open up a blank document, right? So let me see if I can pull up one real quick. The reason why I'm telling you this is because you want to get a quick summary from her, how her dining experience was. You don't want her to go really too much, maybe about 5 minutes. But let me see, I could do this. Okay, so bear with me just one moment. I'm trying to see if I can pull up a blank one. All right, here's a blank Google Docs document. It's untitled, and there's a little pencil down here, right? So when you hit this pencil, this comes up, which is the virtual keypad. Over here is a little microphone. Let's see if I can turn this on. Hold on a second. See? Okay, so that comes on. Watch this. Hello. I'm making a YouTube video right now talking about restaurant review-based side hustles and how to use your cell phone and speech recognition to record a quick summary of a person's restaurant review experience for the purpose of summarizing it in a blog post, comma, previewing the edit before the final publish, comma, publishing it to the blog, comma, and optimizing it with ads to make money online, period. You see that? So what you do is you can turn on your phone, your speech recognition function on your Google Docs. You take your phone, you just lay it there. So let's say if she was sitting right there, all you're going to do is turn on the Google Docs. You're going to leave your phone running, and she's going to speak into the phone. She's going to just sit there and talk about her dining experience as if she was having a fluent conversation with another human being. The purpose of doing this, once again, is to have a summary of the dining experience. So when you get home after dropping the sister off and telling her good night and that you were happy to take her out to dinner, you're going to get home, you're going to take what she said in that Google Docs document, you're going to create long form content based on her dining experience. And when I say long form content, I'm not talking about 500 words. I'm speaking about maybe 1,500 words or more. It's really not that hard to do. I mean, if you were having a fluent conversation with another human being face to face, you don't know exactly how many words you're spitting out in about 5 to 10 minutes. You're doing way over likely 1,000 words in 10 minutes. So to do 1,500 words in a blog post, just in rough draft mode, would be less than 20 minutes to create. Search engines would give preference to blogs that consistently publish blog posts in excess of 1,500 words consistently in a 5-day work week. Now, I didn't say 7, I said within a 5-day, Monday through Friday. But you may not be comprehending all of that for now. That's all right. So once you publish her blog post based on her dining experience, now guess what? you have 2 blog posts published to your Cheesecake Factory category. One blog post is about your dining experience, the man. The second blog post is going to be about her dining experience. I said dining experience. Her Cheesecake Factory dining experience. These restaurant reviews, ladies and gentlemen, help people make really informed decisions, even though they're reading them from independent bloggers. When you dedicate yourself to being a restaurant review-based blogger as a side hustle, you're helping people to make informed decisions. This is also known as influencer marketing. And this is a very lucrative business. This is the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen, that your employer doesn't want you to know, because they want to keep you punching the time clock. They want you to work overtime. When you work overtime, you don't have time to yourself. You're fatigued, you're drained. You come home, you're drained. All you want to do is eat, get fat, go to sleep, wake up, repeat the cycle, go to work. Because now you're focused on, okay, I got to keep the bills paid, I got to keep the rent paid, the mortgage paid. I need this job. When you start a restaurant review-based side hustle, especially with your own self-hosted WordPress blog on a paid web hosting solution, and you write for your blog at least 5 days a week for 2 to 3 years consistently, in excess of 1,500 words or more, you will earn the following. You will earn preference from search engines in better search engine rankings, because one thing that the search engines don't tell you is that the algorithm, it's a quiet program that scours the web. It cannot be seen with the human eye. The algorithm will acknowledge your blogging behavior, and because you are blogging more than your restaurant review blogging competitors, search engines will naturally rank you higher in organic unpaid search engine results pages. The end result is you get a higher ranking in Bing, Google, Dogpile, Lycos, Neva, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, and even a Russian search engine, Yandex. You get more traffic. The probability of getting more traffic is more ad revenue. If you have your ad monetized with affiliate programs and Google AdSense, in which Google AdSense requires no selling, it's just adhere to the ad and you got money. You've got money. Don't sound like an AOL email thing. You've got mail. But this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Restaurant review-based blogs not only get preference in search engines by higher rankings from consistent restaurant review-based bloggers, but doing this as a passion, doing this because you want to do it, not necessarily because you need the money. You're doing it as a labor of love, because let me tell you, you're not going to make money in the infancy of after you launch your blog. You're not. It takes about a year to 2 years until your blog really starts to get into the full swing of things. In the meantime, while you're building up the content of your blog, you're going to go through some things. You're going to go through some trials and tribulations. This does not get rich quick. You're going to find out who's really in your corner supporting you. Family, friends, household members. You're going to go through some stuff, because on the road to riches, real people do real things, and people will really show themselves to you. If and when you decide to start a restaurant review based blog as a side hustle, do not, please, I'm begging you, under no circumstances, go on your job and start telling your coworkers, I started my own business, because that's what it is. They're gonna be like, okay, we have to huddle together and we have to find a way to get him out of here, because ain't no way we gonna work with him and he's getting rich and he ain't telling us. That's one of the things that some of your coworkers will think. And then they're gonna go to your employee, he talking about he got a side hustle, he gonna get rich. Well, if he gets rich, what he gonna do? He gonna walk off the job. I'm saying all of that to spill the beans to let you know, don't go on the job talking about you got a side hustle. Let me give you something real quick. About 25 years ago in Wilmington, Delaware, I worked at a company as a temp called Applied Card. Applied Card was started by a guy named Rocco. Rocco started Applied Card as a collector, collecting accounts out of his home basement. Rocco was very successful growing the business. He grew it to from nothing, from a home-based business into a corporation, in which back in the day, Chase Bank used to be at 803 Delaware Avenue until they turned into ING Direct, and it's now Capital One. But the building next door, which is now Highmark Healthcare Delaware, or Highmark Delaware, that was Applied Card. And Applied Card had brought me in as a temp collector, and you know, this guy named Don Lapre used to be on TV back in the day. Hello everyone, it's Don Lapre with the 1-900 making money package, placing tiny classified ads in newspapers. Yeah, the guy's dead now, but I was into that whole, you know, starting your own business, getting your own 1-900 number. Now, it wasn't no 1-900 adult number. It wasn't no sex line. It was an adult. It was a 1-900 chat line where men would call in and talk to women for $4.99 a minute. Well, without me having any previous marketing knowledge or any entrepreneurial skills or whatever the case is, I did make some money, but I wasn't consistent with the promotion, the advertising of it. I did make money. I got 2 checks. But while I was working as a temp for Applied Card, it was a young black guy that was training me. And I was telling him about, you know, starting your own. I started my own business, this, that, and the third. I assumed that he went and told on me. The former head of collections, now I'm gonna drop a real name today. I don't care if he watches this video. This was 25 years ago. I don't care. And I'm gonna say some real names today. Rocco is the guy's real name who started Applied Card in Wilmington, Delaware. So you already know that. So the former head of collections, about roughly around close to or about 25 years ago, here go another helicopter, was a black guy named Dean Knotts. Dean Knotts was a very high-minded person. Well, the word got back to Dean that I was allegedly talking to this guy that was training me about starting my own business. Allegedly, Dean fired me. I got a phone call or something like that from the temp agency. Don't go back. I was let go. So, me like a fool, I was mad. I was maybe about 20. I'm close to 50 now, so I don't care how you feel. I got mad and I went back there. I had on a trench coat. I had my little briefcase with me. I said, man, I'm going to walk up in his office and tell him off. And sure enough, I told him off. Well, he was bragging about, you know, my father, at the time, my father is the principal of William Penn High School, this, that, and the third. I don't care who your daddy is. I really don't care who you are. I just came in here to tell you off after you fired me. Well, because I didn't have that life experience, I was inexperienced and immature. I shouldn't have went back there after he fired me. They ended up calling the cops on me. They held me in the office, and one of the security officers looked like Newt Gingrich, you know, the former politician, the former speaker of the House of Representatives. He looked like Newt Gingrich's twin brother, but this brother was extremely obese. He was like Prince Marky D. The overweight lovers in the house. And they held me there. They called Wilmington police, saw me, and the cop came in there. And Dean lied and told the cop I might have had a gun in my briefcase. So the cop tells me, open up your briefcase, sir. I opened up the briefcase. There was nothing in there. So the cop sat in there and talked to me for a few minutes. And didn't press no charges or nothing. They let me go and walked up out of there. But I'm saying all of that to say this. If you decide to start this restaurant review-based side hustle, do not go on your job telling people I'm starting a blog, I'm starting a side hustle, because they will plot on you to set you up for wrongful termination. That is a true story I just told you. Those are real names that I said. I don't care if you know who Dean Knotts is to this day and you go back and tell, you know, he dropped your name on YouTube and he said, you know, Wilmington, Delaware. I don't give a flying. Matter of fact, send him to my channel and tell him I said leave a comment. I dare him to do it. How about that? Folks, this is real talk. There's millions and millions of dollars to be made on the internet. I've been through so much stuff, I can't even get all the stuff out of my head. You think I got it good? I've been through so much stuff out here in the workforce. You know, from my personal experiences, I have learned to see the good in all negative situations. And starting a restaurant review-based side hustle is a way to get out of that working paycheck to paycheck thing. I'm telling you, this is really good money. A restaurant review-based blog not only helps people to make better dining decisions, but the other fringe benefit about being a dedicated restaurant review-based blog, I gotta test this camera, see if it's getting hot. It's actually cool. It's getting a little warm. The last time I really ran this camera, I went a little over 51 minutes when I shot the gas blogging video over in Philadelphia, over near close to Wayne Avenue. So these cameras are really worth the money. I wish these helicopters would start flying around here, man. You're draping up my video, man. But anyways, let me tell you, the other fringe benefit about being a restaurant review-based blogger is you're consistently blogging about your favorite restaurants, and not only are you helping people to make better dining decisions where to dine at, but including a lot of images and videos in the body of your blog posts will earn you free advertising. You don't have to ask people to share your content. You don't have to get on the video and say, hey guys, could you please share my content on Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, and Reddit, and can you please do that? No. If you want people to really share and give you free advertising, you don't ask. You just focus on your content, which is your restaurant review-based blog post. Creating consistent content will get you favoritism from search engines. And when you take that, when you take that blog link and you go and share it on Facebook with your Facebook friends, your connections, whoever it is, family, friends, co-workers, whoever's on your Facebook friends list, once they click that link and they read the content, they're going to automatically like it. So as a result, you're going to have your share buttons automatically set up, your Pinterest, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, or whatever, and whatever other social networking profiles that they have. And by the way, Pinterest is not a social network. It is an image. It is a visual-based search engine. If they share your image to Pinterest, guess what? You get twice and thrice the times free advertising, because Pinterest has the ability to allow people to repin your pins to their pin board. That's more reciprocal traffic. I'll get into that in future videos, but that's reciprocal traffic. You didn't have to spend one dime. When you spent how much? Zero. You focused on creating great content for people to read and to make better dining decisions. Focus on your content. Millions and millions of dollars are waiting to be made from posting and blogging consistently about restaurant reviews. People want to know, how does this dish taste? Oh, I haven't tried that yet, but I just read that blog over there and I saw that YouTube video. They said that so-and-so entree is pretty good. Maybe we need to go. Honey, I think we need to go to that restaurant. I like what they're saying in that YouTube video. I like, honey, come over here and read this blog. Oh, that looks cool. Honey, look at that. Look at that food in that blog post. Honey, doesn't that look so good? Honey, I want to go there. This is the wife. Honey, I want to go there Friday night. Let's go there Friday night. You know him. All right, babe. Anything for you. We'll go there. You know why they went there? Because she saw the blog. She saw the YouTube video. Her mind and her heart was pricked off of your content. And you are going to make money because she's going to tell other people. Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, she's going to share your content. And then she might even take it a step further to the 9th step and email somebody your blog post. That's free advertising for you. So that means your ads, your Google ads are getting adhered to. Any banner ads that are on your blog from, I don't know, Walmart, Target, any ad that's on your blog is likely to get adhered to besides the Google ad, which you are going to earn what's called an affiliate commission. So this is the beauty of being a restaurant review based blogger, because like I said, this is the secret sauce that your employer doesn't want you to know. This is the stuff that's really going to get you out of the working paycheck to paycheck. This is the stuff that's really going to help you to achieve a certain level of financial freedom, even though in this performance marketing, side hustle based freelance marketing industry, there is no guarantee of making money. That's why I really urge people, if you decide to invest in getting a domain name, getting a dedicated web hosting package, a small business dedicated server for your WordPress blog to be hosted on, you are going to spend money. But make up your mind. Do you see yourself doing this for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Or is this something that you're just going to do short term? You just want to see how much money you could make. I'm telling you right now, doing this short term, you're not going to make the money that you want. Every time you write and publish a restaurant review, you have to let that content sit. People are not going to make up their minds right away. They may read your blog about a certain restaurant, Cheesecake Factory, Red Robin, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, whoever. They may not make a product. They may not make a restaurant dining decision at that point. It takes a couple of times for them to actually sit there and read it again and again. They know they read it, but they have to read it again and again and again and again and again until a seed is planted in their mind. Once a seed has been planted in their mind, it's not that long from that seed being planted in their mind that they're going to act on it. But you have to let that content sit. It's just like buying stock or buying cryptocurrency, right? You buy the stock, you buy the crypto, you know you're not going to be able to flip it overnight and get, sell and get a, what? You're going to spend $500 in buying stock, buying one stock, or invest $500 in crypto. You're not going to be able to flip that right away and get $50,000. It just doesn't work like that. You have to let it sit. And then over the course of time, you have to keep adding and adding and adding more. The same thing with blogging in general, whether it's restaurant review based blogging about, I don't know, Polo Ralph Lauren or whatever the case is. You write a blog, you publish, and then you keep writing. You add more and more and more and more content. As your content builds up on your blog, you start to gain traction in the search engines. And as your content from back there is published and it's already searchable in the search engines, that published blog, that content is gaining traffic reciprocally because it's just sitting there in the search engines. So whatever people are searching for that's restaurant related, you have the probability of coming up. And as you publish more blogs, this is how you set yourself up to earn steady streams of passive income through getting steady streams of traffic from search engines, social networks, sharing your content on Pinterest. But making money from this takes time. Can you become a millionaire from blogging? Yes. No jokey fired right now. Yes. I'm dead serious. Yes. You can't get rich off of this overnight. This takes work. But you have to want to do it. A lot of people are not going to succeed in this because they're looking at how long it takes to make the first $100. They're looking at how long it takes to make the first $1,000. Oh, they skipped a couple of days. They skipped a week and they haven't blogged. So what? Keep going. You haven't blogged in a whole week? Why are you going to be lazy and let another day go by and not blog? If you have nothing to blog about in your restaurant review based blog, go take yourself to a Cheap Charlie based restaurant. Go to I don't know. I wouldn't recommend that restaurant. Let me think of something real quick. Go to Wawa. Order a sandwich. Create a Wawa category on your blog. I mean, it is food based, even though you can't sit down in Wawa and eat food. But create a Wawa category and say, hey, I ordered a 10-inch turkey and cheese sandwich today. Let me just share my opinion how it tasted in a blog post. You're still writing about food, and because you're still writing, you're still putting yourself in a position to potentially make money. But again, you have to want to do this. This takes roughly between 2, 3, 4 years to really earn the kind of money that you want. If you currently have a job and you're working paycheck to paycheck, this camera is still going. I'm proud today. Let me see. Is that 51 minutes? 51 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm still going. I'm going on almost an hour. Man, shout out to GoPro, man. My replacement camera is working all right. And I'm not even running the max mod lens. This is the standard lens that I have on here for right now. I do have the max mod lens with me, by the way. I got it right here. Let me show y'all real quick. I love these little lenses, but I didn't feel like taking off the protective camera case that this camera is in and switching lenses. Let me just show y'all real quick. That's the max lens mod. I got a nice deal. I got about 30 bucks off when I got it, because I joined the GoPro members club. But yeah, when you do your food-based vlogs, when you go out to different restaurants and stuff, and you make your YouTube videos of food, by all means do invest in this. There you go. Invest in this, ladies and gentlemen. The max lens mod is absolutely worth the money. This gives you a really, really nice view on YouTube videos, and people will be attracted. You will start to see a slight bump in YouTube views. I dearly recommend it because it's well worth the investment. Excuse me. And it really brings out the quality of the videos. I'm going on a little over 53 minutes. Man, I'm doing great. Like Tony Tiger, great. So hopefully you did get something out of this video, because there's millions and millions of dollars. You can become a millionaire from blogging. And there is a young lady named Michelle Schroeder Gardner. She became a millionaire from blogging and affiliate marketing. She is one of the people that I look up to this very day. Someone else who I really look up to that had humble beginnings, I want to still give a shout out to, and I want to thank him so much for the times that he gave me a free pass to come to his events. Mr. Sean Collins from Affiliate Summit, I just want to thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed myself when I used to go to Affiliate Summit events, but because I am striving to be a religious person and trying to shun myself away from the world and the temptations of the world, I don't go to Affiliate Summit events anymore. Not to say that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just saying, for me, I'm a little bit more religious now. I'm not there yet in total spirituality. I'm a sinner in transition. But Sean, if you're watching this video, I want to thank you so much. And you're probably wondering why I don't go to Affiliate Summit no more. It is because I have to get serious, and about spirituality. I have to get serious about getting right. And I really want to thank you from my heart for giving me free passes all the time to come to Affiliate Summit. To this day, you are one of the few affiliate marketing gurus that I really admire and look up to. And I respect your humble beginnings in going from a day job, from former internet manager for internet.com, and starting your own business, Affiliate Summit, in 2003, along with Missy Ward. But it's just, it was, Sean, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a lot of beer at Affiliate Summit. That's one of the reasons I had to stop going. And I hope that you're really watching this video. It's this year, the end of this year, thank you, Lord Jesus. I have to get a little bit off topic, but this year, 10 years, it will be, at the end of this year will be 10 years that the Lord Jesus has strengthened me and blessed me to be alcohol, liquor, and beer free. So officially this is 9 years, and let me see, March, we're going to the end of March, so it's getting ready to be 9 years and 3 months that I haven't had a drop of liquor or beer, and it's going on, I think, 7 years now I haven't had a drop of wine. So glory to God for that. But I did enjoy myself, meeting new people, getting, forging those business connections. But one of the reasons why I stopped going was there was some beer, and I have to distance myself from temptation from every which way possible. But I hope that you understand. And I also distance myself for political reasons. I'm not going to get into that, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. But as far as you, Sean, I don't have nothing against you. No. I just thank you again, because I really discovered that affiliate marketing and blogging and this internet marketing stuff is really for me. And hopefully someday I'll come across your path again, face to face, and we can sit down and rap for a little while. But I want to thank you, Mr. Sean Collins, from my heart, for inspiring me to go the extra mile with this affiliate marketing stuff. You keep up the good work with Affiliate Summit, and who knows, you might even be a billionaire if you're not already. I know you're a multi-millionaire. I know you're worth mega millions, man. I just know it. But that's all right. It's all good, man. But anyways, folks, I'm going to get up off of here. Let me see how long this video is now. Oh, man, 57 minutes and 44, going on 58 minutes. This is excellent. Folks, I have literally told you the secret sauce. Start a blog. Blog about your restaurant reviews. Start sharing those blogs on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, even in the body of your YouTube videos. When you compose a blog, bear in mind that the longer your blog posts are, the more the search engines are going to give you favoritism. So favoritism is more like internet-based version of respect the person. They give you favoritism. It's respect the person. They favor you over someone else who is your blogging competitor, because you're blogging consistently, you're blogging longer content, and the algorithm, the search engine algorithms, will also notice that you're passionate about your blogging. When they also notice that people are utilizing the share buttons on your blogs to share your blog posts on multiple social networks and Pinterest, like I said, which is an image-based search engine, the search engines also take notice of that content sharing behavior. That also will bump you up in search engine results pages, because the search engines notice that your restaurant review based blogs are gaining traction. People like the content they're sharing. So the more you move up in search engines, the more money you make. Absolutely. And the goal as a restaurant review based blogger, doing your blogging about restaurant reviews as a side hustle, is to set yourself up to earn steady streams of passive income. Passive income is earned when you're not working on a blog. Passive income is earned Wow, 59, almost an hour. 43, 44, 59 minutes, 45, 46. I'm doing great. The camera has never ran this long. Thank you, Lord. Your passive income is earned when you're sleeping. This is what you want your blog to do. Passive income. I made it. Thank you, Lord. An hour. An hour. Wow. An hour, and this camera is still recording. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. This is the first time. All right, so that's pretty much it. Just want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I appreciate you, and let me know what you think. All right, in the comments section. And you already know what to do. If you really appreciate this video, like it, click the like button, and subscribe. All right, peace.